the bulletin's chair told a news conference in Washington. The clock was last set this close to midnight in 1953, marking the start of the nuclear arms race between the United States and the Soviet Union. Thursday's reset was the first since 2015. Krauss, a theoretical physicist, said Trump and Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin carried a large share of the blame for the heightened threat. The bulletin cited nuclear volatility, especially as the United States and Russia seek to modernize their atomic arsenals and remain at odds in war-torn countries such as Syria and Ukraine. Trump has suggested South Korea and Japan could acquire nuclear weapons to compete with North Korea, which has conducted nuclear tests. The world also faces cyber threats. The bulletin said U.S. intelligence agencies' conclusion that Russia intervened in the presidential election to help Trump raise the possibility of similar attacks on other democracies. So, yes, this doomsday clock is the closest it's ever been in the history since 1953, once again, to striking midnight. And it's a symbolic, message to how close the world is to catastrophe. And it's funny, and I thought this was very interesting. The reason I'm bringing it up to y'all, I thought it was very interesting. I'm riding around, or not riding around. This was Friday afternoon. I'm headed to South Carolina. I got a late start, and so it's probably like 6 o'clock because it was dark. I remember I was on Highway 26, almost getting into the big city of Monks, going to South Carolina. And so I was listening to NPR, and they did an interview with these experts on NPR where they were talking about some things about the nuclear codes and, having a nuclear war that most people didn't know. And the big takeaway from it was that Donald Trump is the person that's solely responsible for starting a nuclear war. Did you hear what I said? Now, listen, a nuclear war is not like a regular war. A nuclear war is killing millions of people. A nuclear war changes, Earth as we know it. Donald Trump, as far as the United States is concerned, is solely responsible for launching a nuclear weapon. And all of the conflicts, wars, this is the crux of basically what they were saying. And all of the conflicts and all of the wars, it has to go through several different channels, all of these checks and balances that we have in our governments with the different parts of government. And a war can't be started like in, a day or two or a couple of hours or whatever. It has to go through a lot of different channels. A lot of different people have to sign off on starting a war and starting, shooting, nuclear or our military weapons towards other countries, except for a nuclear war. Donald Trump literally, and the guy said, and I wish I could tell you where I got these, or where these people, their titles and where you could go and read up more information on them. But in effect, several of the experts came on it, and this is NPR. This isn't no entertainment show, and this isn't, some BS. They said that Donald Trump literally, within 4 minutes, can launch a nuclear weapon. Like 1 minute, it takes 1 minute for him to say, yeah, we're going to do this, and have whatever person that's with him, that always travels with him wherever he is, with this secret box or whatever, where he has the controls to nuclear weapons. 1 minute, Donald Trump can say, funk that, we're going to launch a nuclear weapon, and the weapon can engage. He pushes a button or whatever, have it be or whatever. He pushes a button, and within 4 minutes, once again, now he hadn't talked to anybody about this. He hadn't called, senator, governor, the first. He doesn't even have to talk to Mike Pence, his right-hand man. He doesn't even have to talk to him. Donald Trump right now can say, funk that, I'm shooting a missile over at Russia or North Korea or whatever, and within 4 minutes, it's in the air. Did you hear what I said? In 4 minutes, he doesn't have to get anybody to sign off on it. He has that authority as president of the United States of America. Within 1 minute, he can say, bump that, I'm shooting a missile at these cats in 4 minutes. Within 4 minutes, That missile, that nuclear weapon is in the air. Very scary to think of. And it's even more scary to think of because Donald Trump is just so temperamental. I mean, he's so, wishy-washy, fickled. Like the stuff that he tweets out. And I also believe, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, like I thought for a long time that the stuff that he tweeted out, like I didn't think it was him. I thought he had, somebody else doing this, tweeting for him or whatever. I think it's actually him. And the way that the wording is on his Twitter account and these messages that he sends out on Twitter, like the wording and the way that it comes across sounds just like his mannerisms when he talks. And like he's on Twitter. He's on Twitter. He's doing all these irrational things. And, we're going to build a wall that costs $26 billion, even though we got people hungry. And there were more people at my inauguration than any other time in the world. And you can't come to this country if you're Muslim. And like everything that he's done in a little bit over a week. Yeah. In a little bit over a week, man. And like I said it earlier, man, I think we were halfway joking about it and being facetious, man. But when I heard that interview, when I heard them on NPR saying this, I was like, you got to be kidding me. You got a guy, a narcissistic guy with the temperament of Donald Trump. First of all, it's crazy that we voted him into, and not we, that America voted him into office. But you giving that guy, and Hillary said it on the campaign trail, you're going to give the nuclear codes to Donald Trump? Donald Trump is going to be the end all? He's the decision maker on whether to start a nuclear war? With his temperament? Are you kidding me? That's crazy, man. It's crazy, man. And that's an absolute true story. Donald Trump is the decision maker on whether we start a war. And like the decision doesn't take a couple of hours. The decision doesn't take a couple of days. Literally 1 minute he could say, bump that, we starting this war, we shooting these nuclear weapons. In under 5 minutes, the nuclear weapons are in the air, headed towards their target. Crazy to think of, man. From Jam from Snellville in the chat room, Doug, you doing what you said you wasn't going to do, big bruh. Stop worrying and have faith. We're going to be okay. Yeah, I came here today, and listen, in relative terms, I did good. If you're new to the Doug Stewart Show, I'd be screaming and spitting, and I think I did that pretty well just now in my composure. But you're right, Jam from Snellville. All we got to do now, all we can do now is have faith. That's it. And I understand that. But it's just, like, every time I think about it, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, like, every time I think about it, that people actually went in there and cast a vote for this guy who's not qualified at all with his temperament and everything that was on the line. Like, I don't understand how civilized people could vote a guy in that's not remotely even qualified to run the free world. And I'm staying cool. It just, like, every time I think of that, I'm like, really? I mean, to prove a point, to thumb your nose at what's been happening in this country for the last 8 years under Obama, and that's really what it was all about. It was to thumb their nose at the Democrats, the Democrats in particular, at Barack Obama, with this repealing of the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. And at Hillary Clinton. That's all this was. This was a FU. And what was the guy's name? Michael Moore? Michael Moore wrote an incredible column about that before the election. Like, this is going to be the biggest FU in American history. And that's all this was. This was petty. To go over there, to go into a voting booth and vote for Donald Trump is very petty. And I coined the term petty president last week, I think. And on the other hand, it's very petty. It was very petty to go in and actually, in your right mind, cast a vote for Donald Trump. It was. Very, very petty, man. And I got to have full faith that it's going to be okay, man. But I got to be honest with you, man. It don't feel like it's going to be okay. I know it's going to be okay. Let me back up. I know it's going to be okay, and I got faith, once again, the size of a mustard seed. I do. All right, I was raised to have faith. But right now, man, in a little bit over a week, there's no indicators out there that really says that it's going to be okay. I mean, we're having faith despite the indicators. Despite what we've seen the last week, we're having faith. But it don't look good for the home team. Simple as that. I mean, I was born and raised to have faith. And faith is kind of one of those things that you can't really explain. It just is. You know, like a lot of people will talk to you about religion and a higher being. It's just something that you believe. But the indicators over the last week and 2 days, yeah, he came into office last week, Saturday. The first 9 days of office, those indicators don't say it's going to be all right. As a matter of fact, the indicators from the last week and 2 days say it's going to be anything but all right. Yeah. I mean, I got faith, but I'm also a realist, so they're kind of conflicted. My heart says it's going to be all right, but my head says it's going to be anything, once again, but all right. Power Hour coming up next on the Doug Stewart Show.
To know who is the kid with all the soul. It's my life, I'll put on this, the world of Chris, so listen in, it unfolds with food for the mind, improving my lines, beats and using my time, wisely inviting you to fly with me and cry with me and lie with me as I'm looking up to God, getting my energy, source from my Lord is my clarity, and these facades that's blind in my path, you do the math, these other cats is bringing half, my foundation is love and patience, so I'm built to last. I feel the blast from your attack, cranberry rapping, scaring us. My soul food is more than chicken and asparagus, and greens and grits is from the heart, so now they fearing us. It's more than just music, cause the flow I'm using is serious. Real thought and rap, it's not a lotta. My punchlines touch minds, I got more catchphrases than Mike Piazza. I gotta keep this metaphorically tight, but leave it just loose enough so it'll fit around your life, alright? For all about to spit, and already did. It seems these people making plans to try to stop the kid. But dog, it's obvious, cause I must win. You can't stop it, do the math, it's not happening. For all I'm about to spit, and already did. It seems these people making plans to try to stop the kid. But dog, it's obvious, cause I must win. You can't stop it, do the math, it's not happening. These people wanna see me fail and don't think I can sell. I'm displaying my creations of art, they show and tell. I know that hell's trying to block my trail. I lock myself into my room to fuse together this music that's got to spell success and positive vibes the rest of my life. I plan to help the fail through bad vibes. I lift blinds to show and expose minds. My golden balls can show your soul how to shine and hold it on the guard on life's ride. So follow me, I'll take the lead.